Happy 2026, food friends. Hope you all wrapped up 2025 nicely, and I'm wishing you all a happy and healthy 2026. Also, the anniversary of my channel. Started this up last year, right after the New Year's, to help people avoid ultra processed food and, eat a little healthier. And I promised on that very first video that I would reevaluate after the first year. So I thought about it for like 1/100th of a second yesterday, and I'm going to continue. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm still having a ton of fun. I'm learning editing still, and my videos are drastically different, but I'm having a great time sharing all my knowledge and all of these recipes. So I'm definitely moving forward with 2026. I feel like I'm just sort of hitting my stride on these videos. I've experimented with all sorts of video types over this last year, different formats, different styles, and I feel I'm finally hitting a stride with recipes and food awareness. So, with that being said, 2026 is going to be filled with a lot of recipes. It seems to be the best way to help everyone out. It's what everybody always seems to want. I've been on a good streak for the last 9, 10 weeks with recipes. This will be breaking the streak, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. So, like I said, moving into 2026, we'll have a lot more videos, a lot more food awareness. These are the videos that people seem to be requesting the most. We were just burnt out after the holidays and everything. We ordered Chinese takeout last night. I ordered a little extra so that we've got food for today. May cook some chicken legs later today, but that's about it. I'm not really going crazy this weekend. So while there's no recipe this week, there is something that I do want to talk about. It's going to affect a bunch of us here in the United States. And I'm not really quite sure how it's going to affect us. I think it's kind of useless, but it's a huge food labeling change for 2026, and it's already gone into effect. Basically, you can't label any processed food made in the United States or made in the USA unless all of the ingredients are grown or raised in the United States, other than spices. They gave a waive on spices, but you can no longer create a food or manufacture a food in the United States and label it made in the USA unless everything other than spices are grown or raised in the United States. So let's say you own a canned soup factory and you're making your beef soup or your beef stew or whatever, and your company's been in business for years and you're rocking along. But it's now 2026. Your supplier gets beef from Brazil or Argentina. They get their vegetables from Mexico or China. And you can no longer label your soup made in the USA. You're literally using beef from another country, vegetables from another country, even though your recipe and your butchering and producing and making this product in the United States, thanks to this new labeling law, you can no longer say that this is a product of the United States. Even though it was made here, even though that's where your factory is, that's where all your employees are, because the ingredients are not from here, you're no longer allowed to label this. And I don't see how this really changes anything. It feels more like nationalism than health. And that's fine, that's cool, that's great, whatever. But it doesn't make the soup healthier. It doesn't make it any unhealthier. And it's certainly not going to make companies buy products or ingredients from the United States if they cost more. They're still going to do whatever's cheapest and makes them the most profit. And they'll just not label it made in the United States. Those three words, don't really mean anything on a label. But this is supposedly being praised. It's a huge thing. I don't quite understand it. I don't understand the big deal about it. But it's whatever. It's not really going to make anything healthier or better in the long run. With all that said, I'm going to wrap it all up here today. I'm wishing you all a great 2026. We got another fresh recipe coming next week, and here's some other old recipes of mine from previously that I know you're going to enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot, and it helps get all these recipes and food awareness videos out in front of everybody. Have a great one, everyone. Peace.